Hi, this is Marla Poisson, one of your engagement coaches. And today we're going to be looking at adding material from your Rover into your Google Classroom or into SeeSaw. All right, the first thing that you're going to want to do is access the Rover site. There are a couple ways to do that. One of them is to go to your Chinook bookmarks and enter the portal. From the portal, go into STRC and find it through there. However, I have always found one of the easiest ways to do that is just to open a new tab, type in Rover, and it'll be usually capital ROVER. It is one of the first ones to come up. From there, you're going to have to log in. Your Ed Online password has been set up for you. It is your first name dot last name, and then the password is the month and day of your birth. So if I punch in login here, I'm already logged in because I've done that a few times. And if you have trouble with that, the first name, last name is from your teacher certificate. And so if you've changed your name, you may need to try out your old last name or contact the ministry or check on your teacher certificate to see how it's listed. Since you didn't get a chance to see the login to Rover, since I'm already signed into Ed Online, Ed Online is just the government Saskatchewan education site. And of course, you can see here when I typed in Ed Online, it just came up as my first name dot last name. And then the password is your month and day of birth. And it's pretty easy. It's all in there. So let's head over to the National Film Board and see what we can find there. So it'll just take a moment to load on my very slow rural internet. So you'll notice that it takes you to the National Film Board education. And you have access all the way down here with all the resources. Definitely worth looking into. Lots of programs, learning from home programs, education blogs, things for your parents. Also at the bottom here, a whole bunch of playlists that you can follow through, and then some suggested resources. I'm going to show you two ways of doing this. The very first way will be without signing in over here. You don't have to sign in. It'll still work, but it does limit you in the number of videos that you can access. Particularly the campus access. Campus is set up specifically for educators here. And yes, our organization is signed up. I wouldn't do it through here. We're going to do it over here, but it's definitely worth it. But first, we're going to look at just if you don't want to log in, you're just going to access the National Film Board files. So if you don't know what you're looking for, you're welcome to search, but I know, and we're just going to look for a video. Most of us grew up with the National Film Board on the CBC, so there may be some favorites that you have, and the sweater is one of mine. So we're going to look at that. So you'll notice that when you type in the search, the sweater comes up. It is listed as a buy option, and yet we can still watch it as long as we're going through the Rover system. You have to click on the video. Again, my apologies for the slow link. It'll take a moment to come up. And the one thing you'll notice here is that it's not giving you any options other than play in this window. It's not signed you in. You have to purchase it if you want to own it, but we don't want to own it. We just want to play it. And down here, there is no options to share. It is perfectly blank. So what we want to do is just share this page. Well, then this becomes just a URL that we want to share with our students. So in order to put this into the classroom, you would have to create whatever link you want or whatever assignment or slides or material you want them to have. And then you just copy this link and then put it into your classroom. Here, I'm going to do it here. And you can see I already created one on National Film Board without sign-in, but we'll create another one. Create the assignment, my sweater video 2, and then add as a link. Link just goes in here. And you'll notice it does come up as coming through the Ed Online link. That's important because the students have access to the Ed Online, they should be able to get to this. And so I'm going to assign and then show you what that looks like in a student view. So I do have a student view in the classroom set up. So I'm going to pull that over here so that you can see. So I am signed out in as a student, and you can see the sweater video 2 came up here. So we're going to click on that. I'm actually using an email that's external to Chinook. So this is a good test for any of you who have students online that are not using their Chinook logins to get somewhere, but it does work. And so here's the link. And again, you can see external Ed Online. I just click on that as a student. And you notice I did not sign in anywhere. It's just through the classroom. And even though it's taking a minute, here's my video. I'm not signed in, but the video does show up here. And once it's loaded, you can see that I can play it. The student can make it larger. There's nothing added to it though. It is just a link that you've added into your classroom. And just to show that it does work, once it's here, I'm going to move this along a little bit. Just to see that it does work. And click play. Hopefully it loads. And if it wasn't for my really poor internet, it would have loaded and played for your students. They can even make it larger if that's what you want. You could play it on in a meet so that everyone can observe it at the same time, but it is there. Oh, there we go.
Our hair like Maurice Richard, and we use a kind of hair glue
like Maurice Richard. So that's the first way that you can add the meat into your video. All right, the next way that we can add National Film Board material into our classroom or SeeSaw is through signing in. You'll notice right now that I don't have access over here. I have access to everything, but not to the campus education nor to playlists. And if you are creating a bank of videos you want to go back to over and over again, then having that playlist and having the campus access is definitely worth it. So to do that, you must sign in. We are recorded in the video, so recorded here. So we can sign in. Click sign in. And again, it's just thinking about it. slowly. There we go. All right, and you'll see that I'm already signed in. That's because I did take the time a while ago to do the login procedure. It's definitely worth it. When I click on that, let's see what happens. It's if you haven't logged in before, it'll just ask you if you want to sign in, and you just say yes. It'll ask you for your institution and if the institution is registered, and Chinook is registered. So you just have to go through the login procedure. It's free and it's definitely worth it. You just can't log in with your Google account. So save your password. What it does do is it gives you access to playlists and chapters. That's important because, like I said, if you're doing this over and over again or you want to return to it, you definitely want a playlist. It also opens up the education portion to the campus subscription. Campus is just more. You just get access to more things. And so, again, definitely worth it. So if we're going to do this again, we're going to search just like before. I'm going to find the same video. Sorry, again, take a moment. Same video. It looks exactly the same as the last time. We have the buy DVD options. We'll click on that. But there is a subtle difference. Once we open up the sweater and go down, you have this little button to the side here that allows you to add it to a playlist. And so if we click on that, then I have the option of either add it to a playlist I've created or create a new playlist. And so my last playlist was Lands Faves, and this is just going to be Mars Faves. Okay, this tells me the film was successfully added to the playlist. So I'm just going to go and search over here. So now if I click on playlists, and it just takes a moment to open, you'll notice I have playlists created. So we have Lands Faves and Mars Faves, and I can create another playlist and go in there. When we go into the playlists, playlists can now be shared with your classroom. So I want to share that with my classroom. You'll notice the Google icon now comes up in a way that it didn't before. So what we had to do when you're not logged in, you have to share the URL and then make the assignment and then insert the URL into that assignment. This way, my whole playlist gets shared and I can just add it through the classroom. And you'll notice that is direct classroom integration with Google. I can choose any or all of my classrooms. So I'm just going to share the trial classroom for testing. And then I want to make that material so I don't have to do anything else and go into that. And once it's there, you can add your description and post that. So it's not much different. You just get the added benefit of a link directly to your classrooms and that you can create an entire playlist, plus the extra access to the campus. If we want to just check on that, you can go in from this screen and load it up right away and just go see where it went to. Adding into SeeSaw is going to be exactly the same. You can choose to add the URL or add the link, but let's just do that. We're going to go to the National Film Board again. And from here, I'm not going to sign in because I don't think many people have. And so we're just going to do this without the sign in. Once again, because I like the video, I'm going to search for the sweater. And then open up that video. Make sure you open the video, not just from this page, or else the URL will just link it to this page here. Once we have the sweater video, and you don't have to wait for it to entirely load, which I'm not going to do. We know the URL is here. It says sweater, so I'm going to copy that and then go to my SeeSaw, which I have open in another link up here. So in order to do that, I'm going to add a new activity. I'm going to create a new activity. All right, there's my create new activity again. And then here, I'm going to call it something. So this is going to be my Video Explorer. And we're going to add this in the multimedia instructions or examples. So take just a moment, because what I want oops, wrong one. My apologies. I want to add a link. Just enter that URL website. Done. And then this is what will come up. But they shouldn't have to worry about that because we're giving them the Ed Online link. They're going through ours. So we just say, yeah, that's what we want. It's just like the last time when we did it in Classroom. They don't have the login, but we do. And now we're attaching the activity. Just my apologies for the wait. Internet. And then here, add some voice instructions for them to do. And then whatever you'd like to do, add some templates or responses, anything for them. And then we're just going to save that. All right. Now we should be able to go look at it and see what it looks like. All right, you can see that in SeeSaw that I created the activity, but I didn't add it as an assignment. So now we're just going to go do that. Do the add, assign the activity. It's going to be, it should be the very first one on the list here in the activity library. Takes just a moment to pop up. And there's the Video Explorer. So I want to click on that, assign that into my class. And I'm going to assign it to the one class. All done. So I'm going to go back to the class and I just want to see what that looks like. So you'll notice that it comes up without the video here. And that just shows us that we went to an external proxy for the video. It doesn't mean that's not going to work. And the link is here. So I'm just going to look at this by checking it out as a student. So I just want to use my trial student here, my sample. And notice that it doesn't look like much here, but this is what I want. I want these to show because these are the way that the students are going to respond. So I want this to be here for the students so they can do a drawing for me or send a video or add their own link or note or something. Up here where the Video Explorer is, that's where the instructions are. So we're going to click on that just to make sure. And you'll notice again, it doesn't show the video, but it does show the link there. So you just have to get those younger students used to, if it says video, they want to look for those links, even though you're probably going to do voice notes so that they can link to it. And I'm just going to click on that again. Click on the video link at the bottom. Just get the kids used to doing that. And it should take them right to the Ed Online site. Notice they didn't have to sign in. It was 1 or 2 clicks for them to get into there, and there's the video that plays for them. I'm not going to have it load totally because you've seen that happen before. The last 2 sections, the Curio.ca and the SafetyCare sections, are much like logging into the National Film Board without logging in. If we click on the Curio.ca, again, notice in the link while it's loading that it has the Ed Online preface there, which tells us that we are logged in through our Ed Online. It'll ask you for a login over here. Let's not try to do that. It just gets messy. So now we're just going to find the video. So we're just going to, I'm going to click on the 20, this hour has 22 minutes. Curio.ca is TV shows rather than movies and animation. And so here, what we're going to have to do is get the links just like we did before. So when you pick whatever show or portion that you're wanting to go to, we're going to click on more details. We're not going to download or watch or add to playlist. You just want to share. So we're going to click on the share. And unlike the National Film Board, where if we are logged in, we get a link to the classroom, here we have to copy that URL. So I'm going to copy that. Oops, excuse me. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, there we go. Copy that. And just like before, you're going to have to put it into your classroom by creating an assignment. Add your Curio assignment with your instructions. Maybe you want the one advantage to this is that you can add other files. So if you want to have some instruction on a Google Doc, if you want to have some slides that you want them to add onto, and the video is just more information, then this allows you to do that. We add the link, and once again, it's there and we can assign it. Now, so that you can see that this works in a different classroom, I'll show you that later. We're going to go back and do the other one now. SafetyCare is exactly the same. Choose on the SafetyCare link. Slow, slow, slow. Apologies for the slowness. It is coming. All right, don't try to log in. Not worth it. So we're going to pick the COVID management. The one thing about the SafetyCare Hub is that they are all playlists. And so you can select a video from here, or you can select the entire playlist that's aligned here. You'll notice again, our Ed Online is in our address, so we know we're logged in and we can access them. I'm going to take this really short video. And once it's loaded up here, again, I can just pick the URL, copy that, and then create a video or assignment using our SafetyCare Corona instructions, add my link, and then whatever other material we want to add. That is the one advantage to the classroom. We can add multiple things. Notice it again comes up through our Ed Online. And so as soon as we can see that, we know that it's going to be a link that they can open because we've gone through our Ed Online subscription and assign that. And we're just going to check that in the student view. So finally, we're going to look at this from a student view just to make sure that everything's working the way that we want it to. You'll notice I am no longer signed in with my Chinook avatar. I'm signed in on a incognito window actually as Mar Poisson, which is my Gmail account. Also good to note that that is not even within our Chinook umbrella. So if it works outside the umbrella, it usually means that I've done it correctly. If I go to my classwork, see my Curio assignment, my SafetyCare, and my sweater video from the National Film Board are all there. And I'm just going to check out the Curio first. Notice that it comes up as a Blackboard Learn, which tells me first that I probably did it right. The students might be concerned that the video doesn't show up, but that's okay. It's just about training them that this is just another place that we want them to go. And usually they're pretty good at that. When I open it, again, you can see right away in the address that it's calling up the Ed Online access that was given to them as a teacher. And all they have to do is click watch then. And that should load up in just a moment. Perfect. So I know that it's loading. I know that it's there. It's the Ed Online prefix that's important to make sure you copy. And I'm not going to load the entire thing because it'll take too long on my crappy internet. Just to check out the SafetyCare as well. View the assignment. Click on that. Again, the external Ed Online address shows, so I know I probably did it correctly. And in your instructions, you're going to say which of the videos out of that entire playlist, or maybe you want them to watch the entire playlist, is ready for them to watch. They do not have to log in, and nor should they. It'll just be a mess. So we should be able to watch any of these videos. I'm just going to click on the first one because it's only a minute long. And once again, everything looks like, even though it's slow, it looks like it's loading okay. Slowly but surely. And that's the other thing you're going to have to realize if students are on a slow internet access, like I have at the farm, that the loading is going to take some time. That's why I would choose these short videos, 1 minute long, Perfect. Make sure it plays. And again, I am going through the student access through this, and it seems to work. So to wrap up, I just want to say that Rover does have some really good resources. The videos are timely. Curio, the National Film Board, update all the time. The SafetyCare videos can be implemented and put into just material if you want them to have some access to some safety videos for PAA or anything like that. We often don't use Rover because we think it's clunky and it's hard to access. And I think in the past we really had some struggles with it, but the ministry has been working on it. Leanne Marchand has been a great resource for us, and she's been contacting the ministry to make sure this works for us. And if you are still having some trouble with it, please feel free to contact Sean Spence or myself or Leon. We all have experience in accessing these and making them work in your classroom, especially during this COVID time when we don't know if we're going to be going online. You want to have as many tools in your toolkit as you can. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.